I'm Joshua McConnellogue and I'm joined today by Paddy Gallagher from Saoradh and Derry. How's it going, Paddy?
Right, how's it going?
First question I'm going to ask you, Paddy, is what do you and your party feel a no-deal Brexit would mean on the island of Ireland if the backstop is not upheld?
Well, it's difficult to say at this stage. Obviously, we don't really know where Brexit's heading. I think that the British government don't really know where it's heading, and the EU government, they don't really know what's going on, to be honest. So it is kind of difficult for us to understand or realise where we're heading. But obviously, if we have a no-deal Brexit and there is a hard border, that will cause significant problems for the everyday citizen, so to speak, or residents of Derry and further afield. But for border infrastructure to be put in place is nothing new. If you look at history, there's been border infrastructure, but at the minute there's cameras there, so there's an electronic border currently put in place. The British border in Ireland is currently electronic, so I can't say there'll be much change, to be honest.
Would your party welcome a border poll?
We outlined our position on a border poll when we released our Brexit policy document. We stated that at this moment in time, how can anyone, particularly Republican socialists, how can we welcome, how can we accept, how can we acknowledge a border poll when A, we don't know the question, B, it's under control of the British government, and C, it's undemocratic. It doesn't and it won't represent full 32 counties of Ireland.
In the case of a full 32 county poll where everyone in Ireland and the island of Ireland got their say, would you welcome that?
Again, it's difficult to say until we understand the question, until we know the question, and until we see the direction that's been taken. It's difficult to answer. Obviously, we can look at the likes of Scotland for their referendum a number of years back, and we've seen the failings of that and the fraud that surrounded that as well. So all at the behest of the British government, apparently. So it's difficult to accept or understand at this time.
Yeah. I know that your party doesn't run for election in Stormont or in the Dáil Éireann.
Yeah.
But in the case of best case scenario, ideal, a United Ireland 32 county, would you run for Dáil Éireann?
Well, not under the current format or current structure. Obviously, the end goal for Saoradh is a 32 county socialist republic, so that would be a reunified Ireland, but obviously not under the current structure that is in place at the minute. Obviously, we would fight for a socialist republic, inclusive of all 32 counties, and that would then result in obviously socialist government being formed, but obviously not within Dáil Éireann at the minute.
In a recent press conference here, it says in the past 3 weeks there was 14 arrests, 10 house raids and 2 approaches by MI5 and party members.
Yeah.
What do you think the reason for this was?
Well, it's clearly a case of political policing. Since Saoradh was formed in the 2016, Republicans, particularly here in Derry, but obviously further afield and across the occupied 6 counties, have seen a massive increase in crime force harassment. So particularly here in Derry, as I say, we've witnessed thousands upon thousands of stop and searches. We've seen multiple house raids, we've seen members detained by British crime forces, held for a number of days and released without charge. Some of the questions are things, what did you have for breakfast? Not relating to what the British crime forces are saying they've been detained for. So it is clearly a case of harassment and intimidation. I think Saoradh is seen as a thorn on the side of the British establishment, particularly here in Derry. We're obviously quite active. We have our national headquarters here of Junior McDaid House, so we're constantly on the ground, we're constantly exposing and highlighting this harassment by British crime forces, and they obviously don't take too kindly to it.
Yeah. In the case of the backstop fails and there is a hard Brexit and there's a hard border in Ireland, do you see there being a return of violence on Ireland?
Well, you say a return of violence. It's difficult to understand that term when violence has always been here. People are under the perception that since the signing of the Good Friday Agreement in 1998 that all of a sudden violence stopped. At the height of the war or the ongoing struggle is that the height of it, it's gone, but the fact remains armed struggle still exists, albeit on a far smaller scale. However, there is still men and women out there that's willing to engage Britain. So historically speaking, and looking back, and even looking the recent past there, that there could be attacks on border infrastructure.
In the case of United Ireland, and that's what your party wants, and ideally for you to be in control, what would you envision for Ireland in the future?
Well, as I said, it would be a 30th county socialist republic. Obviously at this stage it's kind of, it is the end goal, a socialist republic, but the current format and the current partitionist governments on both sides of the British Atlantic the border, obviously within the occupied 6 counties of Stormont, and then you have the Dáil and the 26 counties. Both have massive failings which have been highlighted and exposed recently, not just by ourselves but other people. We hope to eradicate that. The minute we have across the whole 30 counties of Ireland, we have mass unemployment, mass homelessness, failings in education, failings in healthcare. I think that if Syria were to the fore of establishing a 30 county socialist republic, we would want to see an end to those failings.
And obviously you've had, as we spoke about, you've had altercations with the police force here in Derry alone. What, ideally, like a United Ireland, what would you propose as a police force? Would you stay with the format of the Gardaí, or?
Well, first of all, we would not have a police force, we would have a police service. Obviously under the current infrastructure here in partitionist Ireland, we've got 2 police forces. The RUC incorporating the PSNI and the Gardaí, but we feel that both of these forces currently, their main interest is protecting capitalists and imperialists within Ireland, so, and obviously British interests here in the occupied 6 counties. So if there was a socialist republic, obviously the police service that would be established would work on behalf and for the interest of the people of